Yo, what's up? What's going on? What's good, everybody? The boxing source checking in. Wanted to get into this little topic as looks like we've had some comments in reference to some or potential future plans for Terrence Bud Crawford. Of course, Terrence Crawford had recently won the WBA Super Welterweight Championship and the WBO Interim Super Welterweight Championship with his unanimous decision win over Israel Madrimov at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. And, after that, there was some reaction in reference to the fight in general and what could be next there for Terrence Crawford. Leading into the fight, there was growing interest or growing talk about Terrence Crawford potentially facing Canelo Alvarez, who is now the unified super middleweight champion. And of course, he has his little thing about him facing Edgar Berlanga on September 14th in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. But after this particular fight that Terrence Crawford had against Israel Madrimov, now it seems like there might be a little bit of scaling back as far as a potential fight between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He said that he had some intentions of going up to 168 pounds to challenge Canelo Alvarez. But after this fight here against Israel Madrimov, now it's like some people are having doubts about that, including what they say, the comments from Turkey Al Sheikh, who is organizing these events here for Riyadh season, has had multiple events, tied to Riyadh season, including what happened last weekend at BMO Stadium. And now looks like he had some comments in reference to that as far as like, well, looks like, this thing about Crawford and Canelo being out of the cards and that you could potentially have Crawford facing multiple or potential opponents there at 154 pounds. And one of them could be the current IBF welterweight champion, Jaron Boots Ennis. Of course, he was in attendance there at BMO Stadium for that fight card. His stablemate, Andy Cruz, was on that card. So he was there for that. And also to watch the main event there with Terrence Crawford, as, he had been chasing Terrence Crawford since Crawford had won the undisputed welterweight championship last year. But, I've said it, multiple times, for a while now, that the best fight that could be made up to this particular point for Terrence Crawford is Jaron Boots Ennis, whether it would have been at 147 pounds or now at 154 pounds. Hey, I have no issues with Jaron Boots Ennis competing at 154 pounds to face Terrence Crawford. It's not like, these two guys haven't been in the same division, of course, you know what I'm saying? So they're pretty much around that, same size, have various intangibles that are similar to each other. So, hey, why not go ahead and make that, fight happen? Actually, I say, you know what? I wouldn't have much issues of that particular fight happening before the end of this year. Why not go ahead and do that? Like, if you're saying that Canelo is out of the cards, what would be the next biggest fight to make? Therefore, Terrence Crawford. I say it's Jaron Boots Ennis. There might be another little wrench out there at 154, but I got to see what happens with that particular fighter at 154, what he does first. And then maybe that could be next there for Terrence Crawford if he has a fight against Jaron Boots Ennis and gets past that. But first, the fight has to happen. And that is basically what I'm calling for. We should go ahead and have Terrence Crawford versus Boots Ennis, because that particular fight, if it was announced, it would be like, oh, shiznit, or oh, shit. Yeah, I'm going to just say, oh, shit, this is a fight. You know what I'm saying? You got to have fights out there where when it's announced, you're like, oh, man, now that's going to be a fight. And this one right here, Terrence Crawford, Jaron Boots Ennis, that would be a fight. Now, I know that Terrence Crawford and, his head trainer there, Coach Brian Bomac McIntyre, have dismissed that potential fight on numerous occasions. But now, as it seems like they've kind of like nixed the potential fight between Terrence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez, why not go ahead and see what you could potentially get for a fight against Jerome Boots Ennis? Now, I had mentioned that for this particular fight that Terrence Crawford had against Israel Madrimov, that he was going to get in upwards of $16 million. Yeah, you do have that whole report in reference to the commission in the state of California that reported that Terrence Crawford had a purse of $2.5 million. But we know with all the sponsorships, marketing deals, and all that type of stuff, that they get much more than that. So for Terrence Crawford, I would say around in excess of about $16 million for that particular fight that he had against Israel Madrimov. So, hey, what about, 20 million, maybe 20 million for a fight with Jerome Boots Ennis? Now, if he gets something like that or offered something like that, why not go ahead and take it? Especially if you're able to get in a fight by the end of this year. I'd say December. Why not? Listen, you saw what happened there in the fight against Israel Madrimov. Even though Crawford had, won pretty much 8 rounds to 4. At least I scored it 8 rounds to 4. One judge scored it 8 rounds to 4. There was still like you still had signs where you seen with Terrence Crawford having that extended layup that there were some things that he wasn't necessarily sharp in. So, hey, why not say, you know what? Let me get right back in there against Jerome Boots Ennis, who has had a fight, of course, last month at the Wells Fargo Center, against a common opponent in David Evanesian. So why not go ahead and make this fight happen? For Boots Ennis, currently being at the welterweight division, there really isn't that many, attractive options out there for Jerome Boots Ennis. So why not go ahead and have this fight at 154 against Terrence Bud Crawford? But that's what I got in reference to that. You can share your thoughts on this to say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and have that fight. As I say, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Jerome Boots Ennis by December for the WBA and WBO interim super welterweight titles. What do you think about that? Share your comments below. You can subscribe to the channel. We have, content here when it comes to the sport of boxing. You can also check out the website, theboxingsource.net. We got, of course, our social media tags there through, Instagram, through Twitter, X, or whatever Elon Musk wants to call it. We're also on Facebook as well. So, be sure to check us out here. And until next time, I'll catch y'all. Peace out.